Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here, and greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, a brand new day. A very good thing. Definitely a thumbs up for that. It's good to metabolize. Definitely a good thing. I enjoy metabolizing myself, and I think it's good that you, if you are watching, are metabolizing, and hopefully you will continue to metabolize for a fairly long amount of time. We all have in this physical universe a beginning, a middle, and an end, and life is just what's known as the long defeat. We can't win, we have an end. The idea is to push off the final end as long as possible, though. The long defeat. Thumbs up. Anyway, though, welcome. Thumbs up to that. It's a brand new day, and I didn't do a whole lot yesterday. I had a period of time where I was nearly asleep, and all sorts of just about out, but didn't go quite out, and that's good because when I fall asleep, I stop breathing periodically. I have sleep apnea. I do not have obstructive apnea. I have central apnea. My brain literally forgets to tell my lungs to breathe. So, yay. That's a good thing. Anyway, though, to front load the video, if you could, while you're watching the video, if you like what you hear and see, if you could hit the like button, that would be awesome. If you're not subscribed, if you could hit the subscription button, that would be cool. If you could share the video with people that you think would enjoy it, that would be cool. And of course, I would like to thank every single one of my Patreon.com patrons. These people help keep food in my belly, a roof over my head, and my pets alive. Thumbs up, and thank you so very, very much. I just greatly appreciate it. If you could become a Patreon.com patron, that would be very cool. But more later. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. So, as well, I have been thinking about stuff and doing stuff, and I have been surviving, and that's good. Last night, the night before, I believe I had forgotten to take my Ritalin for the evening. Normally, I take it around anywhere from 5 to 6 o'clock. I had put my meds out weird that day, though, and so I was unsure if I had taken or not, but I slept so poorly, I had to have not. Because last night, I realized, again, I'd forgotten to take it at 6 o'clock. So it was 7:15 when I took my 20 milligrams of Ritalin. It takes about 45 minutes to kick in, so about 8 o'clock, my Ritalin was working inside of my body. Before I went to bed, I took a 200 milligram caffeine tablet. I slept great. When my brain is working properly with this stuff, caffeine, Ritalin, it does not work as a stimulant inside of my body. My heartbeat does not go up. I fall asleep because my brain is working well. So, yeah, I slept pretty good last night. Also, my legs seem to have less cramping problems now because of the heat, or lack thereof. It's gotten pretty cold. I've got another fleecy blanket on my bed, but I still keep my lower legs uncovered just in case I don't want any cramping. But with the extra blanket on my upper body and then my feet uncovered, it worked real well for heat regulation as well. So I slept real well that way too. So definitely a thumbs up. Yesterday evening and night was pretty good. Definitely a good thing. Definitely a good thing. I did go walkies, and one of the things, of course, that happens periodically, I wanted to see deer because I like walking by the deer, but when I finally saw them, I was like within 20, 30 feet of the end of the railroad tracks, and then there's the road here, so I was here, road was here, there was a doe and a fawn over here. So I act non-predator-like. When I saw them, I immediately turned my upper body and head away so that I was not acting like a predator. I walked with my back to them until I was safely past and then walked normally. I don't want to act like a predator. They don't need predator eyes triangulating on them. So it was cool that I got to walk past them and I didn't scare them away, and that was good. Periodically, I see smaller animals, like it looks like you'll see a cat but it's got a really thin tail, and if that happens, you're seeing a possum running around. So I see possums at a distance, and that's good. I like animals. It's definitely a thumbs up. I wish they were closer, but they gotta stay afraid of us. The few people that don't want to harm animals does not make up for the other, admittedly small, that does want to harm. So you gotta keep them afraid of us, just to keep them safe. Ugh. But as well, taking a look on my list over here, I have also been doing a lot of thinking on my story settings and such. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time during this one just talking about the various story settings because I really like them. Of course, I'm always still working on my 3 characters of Milliander and Scarbat Nilchenka, and that's a good thing. I don't talk a whole lot about the character of Milliander. Now, I have spoken of the species that he is a part of. He is the Adorlan, one of the fungal subterranean elves. They live to about 110 years old. There are, now, also, just to give a quick reminder on this one, because I suddenly remembered, maybe this will be confusing, because they are fungal, they are part of a fungal network. Now, they don't call it a network, that's just my metaphor for it, and they use the metaphor because I want it to be understood. They don't call it a network, but it's a network. And they're connected mentally and emotionally and all that with their network and their people. But there's a small number of people that don't have that. I mean, some people are so connected that they see the network world superimposed over the real world, and they need help because they can't interact with a lot of the real world because they can't see it or hear it. They're just only in the network. And then there are those like Milliander who is so disconnected from the network that all he can really feel or hear of it is like he can hear people talking in the other room. You know, he knows that they're his family, and so he feels comfort from being able to hear them, but that's it. That's all the connection he has. Most people in that category, you just close your eyes and relax, and then when you open your eyes, you're in the network. And all memories, all thoughts you share, and that's how information gets passed around. But these people, like Milliander, because they're not connected, they feel a wanderlust. They go out into the world, and you have to be learning, you have to be evolving, or something else that evolves and learns is going to take your resources, and then you're not alive anymore, and they are. So these individuals, they go out into the world, wanderlust. They learn stuff, they see things, they find stuff. And then from about 70 to 100 years old, you know, they've never had anyone less than 70 or more than 100 who hasn't been able to do this. You start feeling an urge, a call, vocal cords and throat there spasm, sorry. They feel an urge, a call that starts to grow. And eventually, if they don't answer it, it does damage them mentally. It is an obsession, a compulsion. They have to go back to their home, to their network, and then they connect again and they share everything that they have experienced with the network, new experiences, new knowledge, new information, growth. Well, Milliander is 72. He knows that sometime in the next 28 years, could be tomorrow, could be in 28 years, he's going to start thinking about home. And then he's going to start urging and feeling and wanting to go there. And then it's going to get impulsive and it's going to get obsessive and just, he'll have to go. So he's in that period of time, which he may not have to leave his friends to do that, because after all, Scarbat's pushing 90, and even though his people live to about 120, and his people are very hale, very hearty, you know, you stay vital, and you can be felling trees at the beginning of summer at 125 years old, building a cabin of your own, all by yourself. And then maybe in the middle of that summer, you've lost a lot of weight, you sleep a lot, and then by winter, you're gone. So, but he's pushing 90, which is getting up there, but he's not ancient or old. yet. But they all have that wanderlust, and they all go out, and Scarbat knows that if he's not really lucky, eventually he's going to end up like at the wrong end of a trap, or inside of a creature's belly, or some horrific nightmarish thing, because when they get that urge to go out, they don't just go out and go camping. You go out someplace where if you make a mistake, life processes end quickly, abruptly, and somewhat messily. But as well, I'm still working on this whole more modern setting that takes place in a modern setting. But of course, there's outside where we are, there's inside where we aren't, and then there's the razor's edge where they both meet. And I've talked about there's the the town of Tenasket in the Tenasket Valley. There's places like Apple Rock. Now, out here in our world, things geography-wise seem very stable, but if you take a look at our world over millions and the billions of years it's been around, our tectonic plates are bouncing all over the place, and the world does not look the same at all times. Things are fluid out here, just we don't even see it over even generations. It takes millions of years. On the inside, things are much more fluid. Things do flow. You don't notice it over a lifetime, but over a couple, there can be major changes. But it takes time. On the razor's edge, because outside and inside are kind of like oil and water heated to different temperatures, the interface, the razor's edge, is very fluid and flowing and ebbing, and sometimes it's this and sometimes it pulls back and fluid. The geography is very fluid. I mean, when I've talked about the towns, like I said, of Tenasket and Apple Rock, they're generally about 40 kilometers apart. And usually you have to pass, you drive past Tall Ned to get to Apple Rock. But sometimes you have to go past and through Apple Rock to get to Tall Ned. But generally the things stay kind of where they should be. It's just they're not always. And that, of course, is how you have to travel if you go inside and outside. But yesterday I talked a bit about how when you're in Tenasket, you don't look at the full moon. If you're at Apple Rock, which is it's a town of about 20,000 people, there's a large rock, and it's shaped like an apple. A long time ago, they called it Apple Rock, and people started to settle there, and so they just called the town Apple Rock. It's got its own dangerous thing, because when you're there, and I probably mentioned this at least yesterday or the day before, but you're not supposed to visit Apple Rock between the times of midnight and 5 a.m. And if you do visit Apple Rock between midnight and 5 a.m., don't have an open wound, fresh open wound, or a wound that's uncovered. And if you do go to Apple Rock and you do have an uncovered wound, just don't bleed on Apple Rock. It's easy. And yet, periodically, Apple Rock still, when somebody bleeds on it, goes rampaging through the town, just crushing things and eating whoever's close enough. There are a lot of people in Apple Rock now, but even in the past 200 years of history, before it's become modern times, when there were far fewer people there, Apple Rock has been depopulated a few times. So you gotta be careful. But remember what I said about fluid geography. And occasionally Apple Rock gets bored and hungry. So you may be hurt. You may be driving your best to get to a hospital. And yet, every time you turn, you're closer to Apple Rock. And when you finally get to where you're trying to get to, you're at Apple Rock and you're bleeding. And you don't want to be there. But every road, every path leads you closer and closer to Apple Rock. So there's people that do TikToks and all that where they talk to people. Well, they don't talk to people on a TikTok, but they do social media. And it's like you've got these 20-somethings where, yeah, it's been like 30 years since anyone's transcended here in Tonasket. But good golly, I'm only 23, and over in Apple Rock, I can think of at least 5 times that thing's gone rampaging. So it happens a fair amount. You just got to be careful if you live there. And of course now, especially, it's harder to eat everyone because there's cars and fast transport. And, you can't get everyone. So, thumbs up. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and Hokey smokes. I've been talking before about how I've gotten far, far less than 25 comments. I got far, far less than 10 this time. Oy vey. But for every person that did leave a comment, thank you so very much. You get me out of my head and into the world. So if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, I don't think I'll get lost this time, but you never know. We have Alex Jacobs, thumbs up, and thank you so very much. We have Blade Liger 87, thumbs up and greatly appreciated. There's Johnny K, thumbs up, none, thumbs up and thank you. Nathan Davis Montgomery, greatly appreciated, and Favel. Thank you. Each and every person that left me the 6 comments over my 3 videos in the last 24 hours, as stated, you do get me out of my head and into the world, so it is appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. With my hands in the air, I do not know which device you are watching this on. I do not know where the video description is, but inside of it, I have links to all of my channels. If you could check that out, that would be cool. And of course, what do I do? What do I say next? I've gotten lost again. Oh, memory, you are so fickle. Really, where was I? What was I even saying? I am actually literally lost. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. Did I say that part? Wow, memory failure in real time. No, channel. So I do have links underneath my various channel links. I think I found the railroad tracks. I might be back on path again. If you could check those out at Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. And again, if you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these very beautiful, very awesome people, that would be cool. My rent has gone up. Everything's gone up. I can't afford to live. If you could help me, that would be very, very cool. I do appreciate it. If you would like to help me out but do not want to become a patron, I do have a PayPal link down below. If you could send me some cash that way, I'm not above begging for whatever scraps you have. I'm thinking of starting another GoFundMe because I don't want to become homeless. And of course, I can't even remember how I usually end on that one, but I think it's, the PayPal thing, and then, if you'd like to help me out without sending money at all, I do have an Amazon wishlist link where hopefully I've got fresh cat food on there because my kitty's finally starting to eat stuff again. So thank goodness. Now, do not feel obligated. Boy, I think I might be on track again. My skin on my lips are coming off. That's disgusting. Yay. I do not feel obligated, and if you cannot or simply do not donate, I do take all kind wishes, and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, a definite thumbs up, and of course if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. Hokey smokes. I had to rush toward the end to make sure I could actually remember it and say it. I do not know where my brain is, aside from right in here. Maybe it too is a fungal mass. That's kind of awful to think about. So anyway, though, I'm going to keep working on stuff. I'm going to record something today, I hope. I'm still not sure if my system will record properly. I might have to reinstall Windows 10, so we shall see. Yay on that. But make sure to seek creativity. You do not have to monetize your passions, but being creative for yourself is a very, very good thing. Of course, seek positivity. Being negative all the time only hurts you. And seek balance. Moderation in all things, even moderation. So thumbs up for that. And of course, with the Covfefe bug raging around the world still, it's just a disease, it's not political, it's not a hoax. If you don't have to go out amongst other people, please don't. If you do, maintain your social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands often, try not to touch your face. And of course, if you can, and you haven't yet, get vaxxed. If you are, get a booster if it's available for you. And we gotta get through this, so yay. But until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a definite thumbs up.